Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Marvel Rivals Championship game. We are here in round 7, which is a lower bracket round. We're here because we have a requested game here from Geraldino, who requested that we cast RadiantOnly, who are the team on the right here. They are against fattyam. And we are starting on Beard and T'Challa. We're still in the best of 3s. I'm recording this on the day that the round 8, 9, and 10 games start. Sorry, 8 and 9 games start. Tomorrow is when the round 10 games start. So tomorrow's matches will be from either round 8 or 9 or potentially 10, depending on what time I wake up. So, let's get this going. We're starting off with Lunar Snow getting taken out here. And Groot on the other side, opening up for the Winter Soldier to get protected. I'm excited to see this. I like when we get requests. I've got a lot of requests from the console games, so I'm excited for when we get into them after we're done with the PC ones. I'll be covering as many of those console games as possible. There's one I can't because it got caught in the language filter on YouTube, which would have meant I wouldn't be able to monetize and could have got my channel in trouble, so I have to avoid that. So, you see the Loki taken away. Thing is in play. Loki very sensible. If you're losing a load of snow, Invisible Woman with the Loki can just get you some insane value here. Adam Warlock also going to be taken out, preventing triple support compositions, or at least making them a little bit weaker. And both teams immediately in for the Rocket Raccoon with the Winter Soldier here. Going heavy on the burst. Problem is, when you're going for this Rocket, very solid in empowering the Winter Soldier, or in some cases the Punisher, but where they come in weak is they do not have a big savior ult. Their ult is for winning a team fight, getting a little bit of damage out, sometimes bursting through something like a load of snow ult, so not having that available is very, not having a big heal ult available like a Fate of Both Worlds, like an Invisible Boundary, is very risky. So you're kind of forced to pick up a second big strategist ultimate here to get the big defensive ults to protect you if the opponents decide to actually set up the engage. So, let's get the teams introduced here. On the left-hand side is fattyam with Kixu. That's a heck of a name. I'm going to ruin that one every time I say it. But they're playing the Invisible Woman. Whoosh will be on the Magneto. Coffin Merchant is playing Winter Soldier. Matiaf is playing Rocket Raccoon. Homunculus is on Wolverine. And Soupy7 will be playing The Thing. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, it is RadiantOnly, with Seraphio playing the Cloak and Dagger. Lene will be on the Invisible Woman. They have abandoned their own rocket here. They were just going for the Rocket's Packed Lunch to give everyone that little bit of armor. Crystallize on the Winter Soldier. Alvins, is going to be playing the Hawkeye. We don't see it too often these days, but it still does some pretty solid damage. That's a heck of a name. Panther Hit'em, I think, is going to be playing the Magneto. And Dejuna also on the Thing, as the Thing's trade Stone Haymakers. A little bit of damage back and forth. Stone Aegis coming out, charging into the backline, trying to set up onto that Winter Soldier, stunning them out and picking them off. The revive comes out though, thanks to the BRB from Matiaf, as they are allowed to keep this fight going. Soupy trying to focus down on the Jejuna. Matiaf will get the finishing blow as the first Kraken impact already comes in from Crystallize, but they will fall. And the Seer Beacon is going to be the deciding factor there, the extra damage. Storm has been picked up by Alvin, abandoning the Hawkeye, getting a little bit of aerial assault. Very sensible, with only one really proper ranged character here who doesn't have massive travel time on their projectiles. Coffin Merchant is going to be the only one who can really try and deal with this storm. So Alvin S giving them a great possibility here as they take out Soupy. Pulling in the Magneto, not having enough damage to finish them off, though the Invisible Boundary will get dropped to try and allow them to get the zoning potential, as Omega Hurricane is going to be coming in as the Invisible Boundary expires, stunned out from the Thing to try and set that up. They have to solo it as the team splits perfectly, but Coffin Merchant will still fall, but they're revived at the BRB right away here. Whoosh into the sky with the Meteor Red, blocked by the Magnetic Curtain. And Whoosh does full. Coffin Merchant does have Kraken Impact here, but they're very isolated, very alone in this fight. Wolverine trying to set up the distraction, but they will get taken out even through the Tainted Shock, as RadiantOnly are going to take back control. fattyam on 50% as RadiantOnly take control of the point. Reminded, it's a lower bracket game, so the losing team is eliminated and will have to wait until Season 2 to try again or play in some of the many independent tournaments that are being set up so that people can keep playing. Pressure being applied. Mariaf with another seer to try and let the team burst on through. Wolverine trying to work their way through the thing. The perfect target for them as Kraken Impacts are coming out here. Invisible Boundary is set up to try and cancel it out. Counter Kraken Impact from Crystallize as they drop low. They got one reset already, looking for the second. Stunned out from the clobbering time, though. They will get taken out. Good healing coming in from Kixen Puxu. Getting good healing out, keeping the team topped up. And it looks like fattyam are going to retake control. RadiantOnly charge coming in onto Alvin's out of the air, picked up by Homunculus. Homunculus not finding the angle to really push on in though. Happy just to guard this entrance point, will back away from the side of Vortex. Pushing in Stone Haymakers coming in from both sides. Homunculus trying to just burn their way through. Big stun coming out from Dejenu. Can they capitalize on this as they've already lost Crystallize? And even with the massive ult setup, they still get taken down as Alvin is going to try and turn this round. But there's the Invisible Boundary and it is shut down completely. Alvin's forced to back away. They fly around onto the flank to try and make sure they touch the point for the overtime, but they're getting dropped now. Shields onto Rocket to make sure that they stay up. They do tap the overtime, but this is looking really rough right now. Dejenu has to charge on through to try and touch, but they cannot do so as round one of game one is taken. RadiantOnly struggling a little bit in that first round, unable to break the front line. And that Seer Beacon actually winning the majority of the fights where it was dropped. Very nicely played by fattyam. Do we see any compositional adjustments here? fattyam, they're pretty comfortable with their composition right now. It's working very well. The Wolverine is doing some big work here to try and take out the enemy thing. They've only got 2 final hits, but they've only been taken down twice, getting some massive damage output here. You can see 6k, about the same as Wosh, but some of that is percentage damage, meaning they've really punished Dejuna, sorry. You can see they've been taken out 3 times, 4 times for Alvin S, and 5 for Crystallize. Their targeting has been very nice here, juggling very effectively. With the Magneto shielding for the thing, shielding for the Winter Soldier when they dive in with Kraken Impact, shielding for the Wolverine when they dive in. They're making this work very well with the damage boost from Mariaf. We're seeing fattyam in control right now. RadiantOnly, they're going to try this once again. Same composition. Cloak and Dagger. For that little bit of extra protection. They're going to try and take the fight. Pushing on in. Kraken Impact. Nice and early, but they don't catch anyone here. Completely zoned away. Counter Kraken Impact coming in as a Meteor M from Wosh to try and burst on through. Blocked by the shielding of Lene here. Trying to push on in. Panther with the counter, blocked by the magnetic barrier, but Soupy and Wosh are able to pick up the first 2 eliminations as RadiantOnly are getting driven back here, pushed off the point. fattyam, clobbering time comes out from Dejenu so they can try and turn this round, and they are nicely done. RadiantOnly are back on the point, but they're still going to be burnt down as Wolverine and Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier are both still upright. Coffin Merchant and Homunculus turning that round after what looked like a bit of a rough fight for a moment there. Good setup there. Homunculus up to the high ground, looking to catch anyone in a position. Alvin's coming in with a very early Omega Hurricane. Before their teams even reach the point, they get focused down, forced to back out, zoned out by the transforming terrain, and as such will get picked off on the retreat. Here comes Wolverine, in for the flank, Crystallize. Also just gonna ult without really a lot of setup. That is a beautiful bionic hook though. Trying to get the finishing blow, but cannot find the Invisible Woman. Crystallize not finding a reset, not getting much. So Homunculus comes in with the last stand, picks up the double kill, and is taken out by Lene. But they're able to retreat to their team, back up, heal up. Crystallize is down, healing, coming out very effectively. Nice use of Silent Vortex to zone out a little bit, try and get them some space. But fattyam have completely zoned RadiantOnly off the point here. Not seemingly able to find a way in at this stage. But they're now fully grouped together. That is going to be a beautiful stun up there by Soupy7 with the Seer to try and burst on through that invisible boundary. Maniaf healing up the team. They're going to back out. They didn't actually find the eliminations here, and in fact, they're getting punished for the green. Lene goes down. Down goes Kicks as well, but this is still going to be fattyam starting to get pushed off the point as RadiantOnly got a little bit of momentum. Shield coming out from the Magneto to make sure that the Storm keeps getting that damage output, but the Wolverine is refusing to get taken out. There's a pickup by Whoosh, who's turning this round. They get taken out though, and finally RadiantOnly are able to take control of the point, but they made sure that fattyam paid with a pound of flesh. Homunculus swapping off the Wolverine here is onto the Hela. You can see RadiantOnly trying to mirror fattyam here, looking for a zoning potential here to try and trap them in the doorway. Huge stun into the Omega Hurricane, and this is exactly what RadiantOnly need. They're able to blast on through. They zone out completely. Lene falls once again as Soupy was able to break containment, but they are all alone now. They will get taken out. And RadiantOnly back in this here. Trying to take control, trying to keep the zoning up. They've got some good protection going on. They will be forced to back up a little bit. fattyam regroup together. Down goes Whoosh. RadiantOnly numbers advantage, but that's not going to stop Soupy from still trying to push on in, trying to break containment. Charging in, leaping back to their allies. Homunculus now the second to fall, but they still drop the Seer, even though they're down 1.5 people, as they will see the return very quickly of Whoosh. They still push on in. Down goes Soupy, and they're taken out before the revive can come on in. We're up to 69%. RadiantOnly are holding now. Ultimate still in favor, though, of fattyam. They've got the Kraken Impact, Meteor M, the Clobber in time, and the Goddess of Death. RadiantOnly. They've got the Eternal Bond. They almost have Invisible Boundary. They're actually about to have most of their ultimates here if they could just stay up, but no, Dejenu taken down. Dejuna goes down, Meteor M, Goddess of Death immediately taken into the air, which means the Meteor M is blocking it here, trying to take out Storm, who's playing evasively here, but that Invisible Boundary is blocking it out, but Homunculus is still able to take out Lene, removing a lot of the healing as Alvin triting onto the point with the Mega Hurricane, but it's blocked out with the Invisible Boundary, pushed down, and down goes Alvin's. And fattyam reclaim the point. They zone off RadiantOnly. Big charge comes on in. But it's not enough. They held the overtime, but this is allowing RadiantOnly to make the smart decision here. They bought a time on overtime, but it's not enough for this portal to come on out. Pentagram of Ferala just short. It's going to be fattyam who takes game number 1 in his best of 3 series. Soupy getting MVP there, landing massive stuns. Some great setups here. 13 final hits for Coffin Merchant, highest in the game with the highest eliminations. Also going over to Coffin Merchant, but tied with Whoosh, who did some huge work there. 11 final hits for Crystallize as well. Doing some good work as the second Winter Soldier. Both the things got MVP and SVP there. both showing up for their teams. In fact, 21 eliminations, 6 times getting eliminated. Assists does differ, 7 to 10. And then 9 final hits to 6, 15k to 17k damage, 30k to 26k damage blocked. Soupy does just pip him at the end, although Dejuna did get more assists. Intense matchup between these teams right now. Top damage done is going to be the 21k by Crystallize, just beating out Alvin's by 200. Very little in it between these players. Top damage blocked. 30,000 for Soupy. Really was just in the front line here. Just trying to be the wall to protect their team. Cheeky 77 healing from Homunculus. And the top healing done. Big strategist numbers. Does go over to Maniaf. Only 473 damage, but 30k healing. And of course, this damage does not count the damage empowered by that Seer Beacon. And they got 2 final hits, so they did choose their targets. 26 assists. Maniaf was involved. But yeah, 30k healing. 4k more than Kix and Pixu. But that's going to be game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying these videos, please consider leaving a like or a subscription or a comment or all 3, as all of them help the algorithm and help this channel grow. We are so close. We're like just over 100 away, I think, maybe 150 away from hitting 5,000 subs, at which point I will be starting streaming again. So if you can help me out there, that would be appreciated, just so I can get to the stream in life once again. I'll be streaming almost exclusively commentary. Maybe a game show or 2 like I've done in the past. I've done some stuff. I've got some lovely, very talented Rivals content creators who I've managed to become in contact with. So we might do, maybe we'll bring back my quiz series. I had a PoQuizmon and Heroes Global Quiz back in the day. Maybe I'll do a Rivals quiz. Maybe that's a thing to bring back. I did that and a load of people started copying it, sadly, but it's still fine. No, I don't own the concept of quiz. But hey, if you're enjoying, consider doing all that. You can also become a member to get access to videos up to 24 hours early. I got a comment earlier of someone who did clearly not watch the video because they're like, I can't believe you're charging for content. No, I'm charging to watch the content 1 day early. I think that's reasonable. Let me know in the comments if it's not reasonable. All right, that's going to be game number 1. Let's get set up for map number 2 in this best of 3 series.
Moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
And we are back for map number 2. Fattyam currently 1-0 up. They're starting on defense on Symbiotic Surface. RadiantOnly, the team we were requested to observe here. 1 game away from being eliminated. Let's see what they can do. Luna Snow and Groot will be banned out this time. Lucky Barnes, once again, going to be protected. Winter Soldier. What else was he protected? Last time it was the Thing. Giving a lot of defenses there. Being very hesitant though. They're going to secure the Adam Warlock this time. Potentially a triple strategist composition here. Next ban. They could ban out the Benjamin if they want to. Take out the thing. They refuse their second ban. This does leave a lot of options open for them. And Star-Lord, very sensibly taken away. If you see that Adam Warlock in play, you want to get rid of the Star-Lord. A little too scary to deal with. Loki also left on the board. We are seeing it hovered here. Loki plus Invisible Woman is an incredible duo. And we're seeing RadiantOnly. They're going for a bit of a copy. Stealing fattyam's draft from last time with the Rocket coming in play from Seraphio, who looks like they've been swapped in. It's going to allow them to empower up Crystallize. All right, let's see if they can do it. fattyam starting off on the defense here. We're once again back on that Wolverine for Homunculus. We're once again off that Wolverine for Homunculus. Triple Vanguard. Maybe not triple Vanguard. They keep moving back into the spawn.
Something bothering you, Ben?
It is triple Vanguard. Wait, oh my god, Whoosh! Make up your mind. The Thor. Okay, it is triple Vanguard. Forgive those stutters. It is just an issue with me observing from EU to the Asia region. It does happen. I keep saying EU, but the British did a silly thing. A little bit of a goof. Judah starting on the Scarlet Witch and then swapping over to the Thing, allowing Panther to go in with that might of magic and science together for that team up. Gives them a little bit of siege damage at the start. You can see that the main central hold point does get zoned out a little bit. They're going to try and take it though. Gets the armor from the Thing as they try to push on in. Good damage onto Soupy here. They're trying to break the front line. Good flank coming in here from Panther. On the defense, Whoosh doing good damage here on this Thorn. They have literally no team-ups on this team except for the Thing and Invisible Woman as Kraken Impact comes in so early from Coffin Merchant. Finds a pickup, but not on anyone who's a reset. Gets the Bionic Hook onto the Magneto. Tries to finish them off, and they do get him. And fattyam are gonna push on in here. It's currently a 3-for-0 as they push on in. One player was already bought back by the BRB. 4-for-0 as they keep the push going, sending them all the way back to spawn. fattyam yet to lose a single player right now. Seraphino even dropping a little bit of damage here while keeping the team topped up. Found myself a tongue twister in there. Going to be making their way around to the flank, try and give themselves a better opening to push on in. Will get spotted by Whoosh though, who's scouting up on the high ground. They're going to try and push them away. Awakened Rune. A little bit of damage. Onto the high ground. Here comes the charge. Soupy. Clobbering time. Onto 4. Invisible boundary to try and counter it. Which means Soupy is going to back away to make sure they stay upright. Aya Magamoto for the second stun. The whole team is locked down as Homunculus follows up on Soupy and pops off right at the tail end of the invisible boundary and shuts down RadiantOnly again. Karmic Revival now at the ready for Alvin. Are they going to swap before ulting? Oh, they swapped before ulting. That's rough, losing 50% on one of the highest charge rate ultimates. It's rough to see, but they're still going to try it. Clobbering time comes out. Homunculus stunned into the air. Manny dropped a little bit low. Kraken Impact from Crystallize. They dive on it. They took out a Loki clone for the first reset. Coffin Merchant, though, is getting resets as down goes Crystallize. Coffin Merchant blasting through right now. They're not going to find any more resets, but they are able to pick up as many eliminations as they like. And fattyam holding once again. Alvin S swapping over to the Wolverine of their own with triple Vanguard. They want to try and break it. Might not be the worst idea. I mean, I get talked bad about when I say this kind of thing, but I'm gonna risk it. At this point, if you're in this rough situation, it might not be a terrible idea to pick up someone like the Scarlet Witch for percentage damage and for a little bit of zoning with that stun, but it's not going to matter as once again Radiant only are cleaned off the point with 27 seconds left. They have Portal if they bring out the Strange, which they have. They have the chance to take one more fight. Up to the high ground. Meaning they're going to have to try and push past the thing to make their way onto the point. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They touch it. Overtime will be achieved as Alvin is already taken out. The Seer will be popped here with the Invisible Boundary to try and push them onto the point. Aya Vagamoto and Coffin Merchant with the Kraken impact. It's over. That is going to be round 1 held at 0% by fattyam. The maximum crowd control. Aya Vagamoto plus the Thing's clobbering time, making it just impossible for them to take a reasonable fight there. Radiant only. They now have to put on the defense of their lives. If they lose this, they are eliminated from Season 1 and will have to try again in Season 2. Do they adjust anyway? They are, in fact, going to bring in a Loki of their own. Always risky to play Loki into a Winter Soldier, because there is always the chance that Winter Soldier can utilize the Loki clones to reset the Kraken impact. And that's just more damage. Radiant only. They're going to be sticking with basically the same draft, except they are bringing in that Loki. They're going to stick with the Wolverine even. fattyam, they're currently going Spider style, bringing Homunculus onto the Spider-Man currently. Never mind. They were Spider-Man Venom. Now they're just back onto this triple Vanguard composition. Strange, Thor, Thing.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do
Making their way up. No portal. They're going to make their way in on foot to start off here. Radiant only. Trap set by Alvin to try and catch someone out of position. But Radiant only, they need to put on the defense of their tournament lives because this literally is their tournament life right now. Bardic Hook not landing. So much pressure on the back of Crystallize right now as they're doing a lot of damage, but they need to be picking up those eliminations. Bardic Hook finds onto the Thing, not able to finish off the job. Great use of the Tainted Shock to maximize damage output here as Soupy goes down. Kraken impact right off the back, pushed back, and the shield of Magneto is blown. Invisible Boundary to try and capitalize. They get one more reset, allowing Crystallize to capitalize and dive back into the backline, resetting the elimination counter if they can find any pickup here as the Thing gets a massive knock-up, but they can't find it. No more resets. So now it's all about just holding this point, because if they lose 1/3 of the point, then they are out right now. But Radiant only, like their life depends on it, are going ham on this and are driving back fattyam. Great hold, Radiant only, playing that safe. Homunculus has swapped over to the Hela. They're going full Asgardian composition, stunned down and taking out Crystallize. That's the main damage output here as Radiant only are now down a player and without their main damage source as Whoosh pushes on in. Here comes the God of Thunder! Takes out both strategists. Alvin S falls and this is Coffin Merchant. Wow, they are giving themselves more business as they take them down, and Radiant only will be eliminated from the Marvel Rivals Championships, and fattyam will continue their journey through the lower bracket. Mariaf takes MVP here on the Loki. Lovely pickup. 2-0. Radiant only. Thank you for the request of the team to commentate. Geraldino, it is appreciated. Sorry I couldn't have picked a better game. It was just whatever the most recent one was. We'll have to keep an eye on them as Season 2 will be coming around in a month and a bit, I believe. Month and a half. In a while. There's still time for them to prepare, to work out what they're doing, and come back even stronger for next season. fattyam, they're still in it. Surviving and being eliminated, they will continue their journey through the lower bracket. 11 final hits, 12 for Coffin Merchant Homunculus, keeping up this time. 26 eliminations. Coffin Merchant doesn't even get MVP there, but they also never got eliminated. Nicely done. 20k healing, second highest in the game. 20k healing for Mariaf, second highest. 21k, sorry, for Lene, who got the highest healing for a strategist. Top damage blocked, 23k for Dejuna, giving it their absolute best to try and hold. Top eliminations, 0 times getting eliminated. Top final hits, top damage. Coffin Merchant having a lovely game that time. Crystallized, they had to put the team on their back. They gave it their best, but they got called out one time. And it is over there. 15k damage, though. Second highest. They did keep up. But you can see here, they didn't get a single final hit. And that was the big problem here. They got like a Loki clone once, but they just weren't able to find the resets for that Kraken impact. Something wasn't there. Where they just couldn't have... There just wasn't enough damage. And the ultimates were just too well timed for fattyam for them to break the line. But that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you want to request games, if you request PC games, it's going to probably have to be one like from round 7 onwards, so that I can try and keep like the order going and I don't end up jumping back. If not, then I'll try and do them on stream. So make sure you follow my Twitch and my YouTube. I still need to leave comments saying whether I should just be doing Twitch or whether I should do YouTube as well. That does cost a little bit of money because I have to get like the restream thing, but it is something I can do. But if you're all in, you can help support that by becoming a member or hitting that thanks button to send a donation. Your thankses are read out on the videos very often. I do give shout-outs to people who thanks. I also give shout-outs to our members like John, who is our wonderful member right now, who helps support the channel and gets access to these videos up to 24 hours early, sometimes even more. For now, though, thank you all very much for watching. I have been Tetcher, and I will see you all tomorrow.